Hello, welcome to the Music City Drive-In. I'm Eric, and today I am reviewing director William O'Reilly, who directed Lazaro and the Shark, a story that is about many aspects of Cuban living and environment, and comes down to one or two main cultural aspects. And I sort of want to start by asking you, sir, one, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing
Um,
great.
I wanted to ask you if you could speak to the significance of the conga.
Significance of conga.
Yes.
Okay. Um, wow.
A big part of the story here.
Yes. Well, I knew that it's a very, very powerful thing that happens in the eastern part of Cuba, mostly. There's a version of conga happens in Havana. It's milder. It's not as aggressive and as loud and as magnetic as the one in Oriente, in the eastern part of Cuba, Santiago particularly. And I knew I didn't grow up in Santiago, I grew up in Havana. So when I started witnessing that, I knew I was in the presence of a very, very powerful vehicle to convey a lot of emotions, and cinema is about that.
Mm-hmm.
And telling stories is about that. Visually is as powerful as it gets, right? And as colorful as it gets. And I just need the characters. I need the characters and I need a story. That took years in the making, or in finding it, where the character is, what the story is going to be.
Is that
Then you have
why
to find, yeah.
I'm so sorry. Is that why Lazaro's children grow up so much in the movie?
Yeah, exactly. Lazaro's children first would find out that his wife is pregnant with triplets. I say, man, we have a story here.
Mm.
Triplets, unique. Lazaro very charismatic, very, very magnetic personality.
Hold on one second. Breaking up just a little bit. I'll wait for it to catch up. It'll catch up in just a second. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I need to find the antagonist, the villain. And that happened to be Tiburon, the shark, which happens to be also Lazaro's eternal rival.
Mm-hmm.
Tiburon was harder to convince to be part of the film because of his beliefs, or at least what he pretend to believe.
Right.
As you find out later in the film, he was going to be more guarded towards a American crew recording him and following him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm Cuba, but I'm living in America, in New Orleans specifically. So it took years to convince the shark to be part of this.
Oh.
And then Nico, I found him along the way. One trip I was going there, and I needed to exchange some money. He had, you know how Cuba is, that you don't actually cannot use American dollars. You have to change it to another currency that they have there only in Cuba.
Mm.
So I have a bunch of that currency, and I was coming back. That currency is useless here in America. And then I see Nico, and Lazaro say, "Oh, this guy, he came from America, and he probably has some U.S. dollars that he wants to exchange." And then we exchanged, and I met him, and I talked to him. A really, really sweet gentleman. And I asked him if I could interview him about why he was there. And that's how our relationship started. And then the poet, a poet is like a writer, it's like an author or a writer,
yeah,
or a singer. Of course, you want people to know who you are, people to hear your stuff.
He is the
So
one.
it was really easy for him to be part of the film.
Yeah, he's the one I'm most like. I want to know if he's okay. I see Lazaro carrying so much responsibility, and I feel like he's okay. And
Hmm.
Nico, he passes back and forth between America and Cuba. It feels like he's okay. The shark, has
Yeah.
his belief system. He's probably okay.
Hmm.
Is it Rubiester? Is that his name?
The Rubiester, yeah, yeah,
Is he okay?
yeah. He's okay. He's
Okay.
okay. As a matter of fact, for the audience to know, I had we had the world premiere finally here in New York City this past weekend, Saturday, and we brought a bunch of uh, crew members from Cuba, editors and colorists and whatnot, to be part of this world premiere, And the festival was really kind to give us invitation letters to the four characters, even though Nico didn't need one, but because he lives in Miami, but the other three, yeah, and we tried, but it was not impossible. It was impossible to bring them here. So what we did was we got them a hotel at the beach. We paid for a whole weekend that they could stay with their families there, with the wife and kids and whatnot. And we talked all through the weekend about the film, how the audience was receiving it, and so the poet was very happy, Lazaro was very happy, the wives were very happy, drinking and smoking cigars and stuff. It was really sweet to see them doing that, and we have some pictures to put in the website to people like you or people who watch the film to wonder how they're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that people know that they're all right, because that's what protects them, right? Especially the
Yeah.
poet. The more people know about him around the world, the more protected he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the something that feels pretty clear from watching this is having to be so careful with what you say and how you say
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. Lazaro's wife, she comes home, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day, she's out in the balcony and we are interviewing her. She's talking to us. You see how careful she pays all her answers
Yeah.
about why she gone, why she making this sacrifice. It was hard. It was like making like an open heart surgery, or just like pulling teeth to get her words out, because again, her government job, the government sent her to Venezuela to work as a doctor there. It's really tough decision for her and the whole family. I mean, there's many, many, many places in the world, forums, and I don't know how to say that political, the term, what it is, the institutions or the United Nations, they are filed reports that this Cuban doctors system is a slavery,
Mhm.
modern day slavery, because of the way that they are sent to Venezuela, the way that they are paid, the way that they take their passport away so they cannot defect, the way that they are controlled, the way that they are fed and housed in those places are really, um, most people don't know what they have to go through. And they are really afraid of speaking what
Yeah.
they go through.
I'm sure some people will hear you talk about this and have an image in their mind of what to expect, but I think it's really important to watch this to have an understanding of how that dynamic works and how it does feel like there's a genuine love and connection for Cuba and everyone who lives there, and that's sort of why some of this stuff hurts. But I I sort of there's a definitely a feeling of what can people do when they watch this? When people watch this movie, what are you hoping you know people can take away from it, or what kind
Yeah.
of support can people show?
Sure. That's a great question. Thank you so much. What I hope that people do is first forget about propaganda. Okay? Don't believe anything they tell you anymore about Cuba. From the Cuban government, if they try to woo you into going there as a tourist, whatever, all the websites, don't believe any of that. Go actually to the Cuban people. Go to the Cuban. There's a whole bunch of Cuban YouTubers now. Go subscribe to their channel. You know, support them.
Do you have any recommendations? Any
Yes,
particular
yes.
channels?
Eliezer Avila, for example, one of them. Eliezer Avila.
Okay.
Chucho. There's one that is very controversial, but he does his job. His name is Alexander Otaola. It's very controversial, very, very incendiary. But sometimes that's what you need to fight a regime like that. And many more. You know, Carlitos Madrid, that guy is in Spain.
Okay.
So anyway, that's one way to find out what is going on. Because what happens with these YouTubers is that people in Cuba send them videos and stuff and testimonies, every day, and they denounce it, and then they talk about it, and people engage and people talk. It's a conversation about what is actually happening in Cuba. The other thing that I would recommend is like, if you can sponsor a conga, just like Nico did, if you can sponsor a group, a carnival, find a way to help them out with the carnivals, with the carnival stuff. It's really cheap here in these countries, but there, when you watch the film, you're gonna realize how the things that they have to go through to find materials to do the really, really simple stuff, you know, and then with $100 worth of stuff, you can probably, dress like, you do miracles.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the things that I would say, that I want people to investigate more about Cuba. Don't believe the propaganda, the romanticism. They are all American cars, the Cuban cigars, the Cuban mulatas, the dancing, the rumba, whatever. No, go deep, man. These people are suffering for 63 years with one party.
I think an easy way to translate that to like an American audience is imagine the party you're not with being in charge the whole time.
The whole time, for your whole life. For your whole life.
Yeah.
And everything belongs to that party.
Yeah.
The media, the TV, the internet, the food, everything.
When and where will people be able to see it?
Well, right now the festival is over today, but the online streaming is still there until the 27th. U.S. and the U.S. territories. Okay. Lazaro and the Shark. Okay. Cuba under the surface. You go there, I think the prizes are going to be handed out tomorrow. Hopefully we get some kind of a jury grand prize or something. I'm speaking into existence. And then the audience award is really important too. I think the people, if they watch it today or tomorrow, whatever, they'll be able to vote for the audience award. And after that, we hope that we can keep playing it in different festivals around the world. Also, go to the website, lazaroandtheshark.com. You get updates there. You're going to find a lot of outtakes and director cuts and little clips that are not in the film at all, but are really entertaining and give you a better idea of what's what. And then social media, of course, Lazaro on the Shark, Instagram, or my Instagram, which is Sabourin William. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. And everybody, you heard him. Lazaro and the Shark, Cuba Under the Surface. Go watch it up through the 27th. Support it wherever you can. I don't know who all watches this video, but if you know that it's in a festival near you, go see the movie. It's worth your time. And I'm going to try and find the channels that you mentioned and provide links so that people can subscribe in the article that this will be attached to.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and I
Thank
hope
you.
that
You too.
everything continues to go great for you and for everyone involved.
Thank you.